Bruce Wayne, billionaire playboy, a man into extreme fitness and nights on the city, who has enough emotional baggage to require a bellhop to take it all up to his imaginary hotel room in this god-awful analogy. Let's face it, the man is an eligible bachelor who spends his nights in tight spandex fighting attractive female superheroes. Because of this, many children of the Bat have been running around the vastness of the multiverse for decades. Today we're going to be going over 13 different children of Bruce Wayne, aka Children of the Bat, aka the multiverse has to have a giant orphanage of children for Batman in this list. Now, in different timelines on many Earths, Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul end up hooking up. The child goes by many names depending on the Earth, so here are a few of them. Damian Wayne, son of the Demon. Now, Damian was originally introduced in the graphic novel Son of the Demon by Mike W. Barr, with a slightly different origin story than what came to be known in the main continuity. In the tale, Batman teams up with Ra's to stop one of his former lieutenants. Talia and Bruce, having always been close, they end up getting married and eventually conceive a child. Talia eventually realized that with her and a new baby, Bruce is no longer focused on his mission as Batman, so she fakes a miscarriage, placing the baby up for adoption, and that's when the marriage is annulled. Damian Wayne of the main continuity. Damian is then reintroduced by Grant Morrison in Batman and Son. After collecting what she needed from Bruce during a night of passion, Damian is then bioengineered in a test tube and artificially aged. After he's trained by the League of Assassins, Damian is eventually left in the care of Bruce by Talia, with the ultimate goal being to disrupt Bruce's work as Batman. Wanting to earn Bruce's approval, Damian would then go on to become the newest Robin, and the future Batman depending on your timeline. Next up, we have Xu'ffasch Xu'ffasch. I have butchered the hell out of that, and I know it. It's IBN space AL space XU apostrophe FFASCH. He was introduced in Kingdom Come by Mark Waid. His name is literally a translation from Arabic as the Son of the Bat, and origins are roughly similar to another version of Damian Wayne. At some point, he inherited his grandfather's criminal empire, and he turned it into a force of good, working alongside Bruce Wayne. Going undercover, he helped overthrow Lex Luthor's anti-metahuman organization, and eventually would go on to marry the daughter of Dick Grayson and Starfire. Now, a different version of Damian Wayne was also introduced into Batman the Brave and the Bold. The Batman and the Brave and the Bold, Damian Wayne, is a version of Damian that was introduced in the episode Knights of the Future. In this future, Bruce Wayne has retired and he married Catwoman, and they settle down to raise a young Damian. After Joker Jr. murdered his own parents, Damian takes up the mantle of Robin alongside Dick Grayson's Batman to stop Joker Jr. further in the future. Dick retires as well, and he passes on the mantle of the Bat to Damian. In the end, Damian is shown as an armored Batman on the rooftops of Gotham City, with his own young daughter at his side as Robin. In the end, though, this is shown to be a novel that Alfred is writing about a fictional future for the Batman legacy. And now the string of children with the inventive name, Bruce Wayne Jr. Bruce Wayne Jr. Throughout the years, there have been many Bruce Wayne Jr.'s. One of the earliest versions was an imaginary tale during the 1950s, which saw Alfred writing a fictional future where Bruce Wayne Jr. becomes the Robin to Dick Grayson's Batman, complete with a Roman numeral 2 on his chest. That's right, this version of Batman and Robin had a bat symbol and a Robin symbol with Roman numerals for 2 on their chest. Bruce Wayne Jr. In Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane number 89, Lois Lane gives up her infatuation with Superman and goes out with Bruce Wayne. As is the case in comics, the two immediately fall in love and they get married. They have a child and give him the great name of Bruce Wayne Jr., and then he's trained to be the new Robin. And now introducing Bruce Wayne Jr. In Superman and Batman Generations, a mini-series by John Byrne, after Bruce becomes immortal, yep, I know, comic book crazy logic, he eventually gets together with one of Clark Kent's descendants. The child of the two, Bruce Wayne Jr., eventually becomes the third Batman, taking up the mantle during the 80s and the 90s. Reflecting the dark outlook of comics at the time, he has a more armored bat suit and a darker outlook on the world than, I guess, Batman would typically have. Super Sons. Different versions of the Super Sons have popped up throughout the decades. The earliest are from imaginary tales, two kids learning about their father's exploits, taking up the roles of Batman and Superman. Other versions have rebelled against their fathers and instead have to learn a lesson before stepping into heroic roles. It's always implied that these are actually the children of Bruce and Clark, but the two are never shown or mentioned by name. Introducing the epic tale of Thomas Taylor Wayne. a character whose life is so amazing that he lives and dies completely off-panel. In Superman and Batman Generation, Bruce gains immortality, like I said, and he watches his progeny live and die. Thomas is mentioned briefly on the anniversary of his death, thus bringing an end to quite possibly the most awesome and important character in the history of DC Comics. Seriously, if you never knew who Thomas Taylor Wayne was, then you are not a DC fan. Terry McGinnis. Introduced in the Batman Beyond animated series, Terry is a street-smart kid whose father is murdered by a shadowy corporation. Through a series of events, Terry hooks up with Bruce Wayne and becomes the Batman of Neo-Gotham. The two then work together for years, coming to trust one another. And it wasn't until years later, towards the end of the Justice League animated series, that it was discovered that Terry was apparently in fact the biological son of Bruce Wayne. Amanda Waller, through a convoluted series of events, overwrote Terry's father's DNA with Bruce's DNA, thus making Bruce the father of Terry. Then, after a series of events that can only truly happen in comics, Terry ended up becoming the new Batman. The events of the Batman Beyond cartoon are continued in the comic books, where Terry ended up joining the future Justice League until they eventually rebooted the whole Batman Beyond line in the New 52. Now, we're going to move on to a couple more, where usually Bruce is always shown to have a son, but there are a couple of exceptions to the son rule. Next up, we have Helena Wayne. Introduced during the Silver Age as the daughter of an older Bruce and Selina on Earth 2. After Selina is murdered following a failed framing attempt, Helena takes up the identity of the Huntress to hunt down her mother's killer. In the New 52's new version of Earth 2, Bruce and Selina are married and they train a young Helena to become their Robin. She fights bravely during the invasion by the forces of Apocalypse. After the death of Earth 2's Trinity, though, Helena and Earth 2's Supergirl are transported to Earth Prime, where they eventually take up the roles of Huntress and Power Girl. Alright, and now we have one more who has been recently introduced, and I am always butchering her actual pronunciation of her name. We don't have that much about her at the moment, but I wanted to make this list based on her. Athana Asia Al Ghul. Introduced in the Injustice 2 comic book, she could be another bioengineered child of Talia and Bruce. Maybe she's pulled from another timeline. Maybe she's a clone of Bruce Wayne that they for some reason have changed into a woman with claws. We have no idea who she is right now. She is just referenced as the daughter of the Bat. She apparently died at some point, came back to life. She completely blames Bruce Wayne for being the greatest detective ever, but not knowing that he had a daughter. They have finally met up in the Injustice 2 comic book as of this video, and then it went on a cliffhanger following the stories of Hal Jordan, where we're left wondering what the hell's going on with them. Anyway, those are your 13 Children of the Bat across the entire multiverse. Now, we did some deep diving for this list, but I guarantee you we missed something. So if we missed another Child of the Bat, let me know in the comments down below. If they're super interesting, maybe we'll make a follow-up video to this whole thing. I'm Benny for Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time right here.